The price of XRP is very high right now, and many people want to know what's going on. The price of XRP is going the way it is right now. In this video, I'll cover why. There have been a lot of big news in the last 2 weeks, but the price of XRP doesn't seem to have changed at all. Now that there doesn't seem to be much going on, XRP is going up a lot. I want to talk about exactly what happened, why the price of XRP is moving the way it is, and what big news might be causing all the talk. Your help is very much appreciated as always. Thanks a lot. Thank you to everyone who liked the movies and signed up for the channel. These two easy things help me a lot. Also, if you know of a good place to buy XRP, please let me know. You can find my best market in the video's description. So, let's get started, and I hope you all enjoy what I have to say. To begin this video, I talk about a little known event that is about to happen that isn't getting a lot of attention. Since not long ago, a lot of XRP futures ETFs are almost live or have already gone live. There's been a lot going on in the XRP futures market. Now these futures ETFs didn't really get people excited. Their reason for this is that they don't use XRP, the digital asset that you and I both own. What reason is there for an ETF not to use XRP? A futures ETF, on the other hand, only follows the price of XRP. That doesn't actually hold any XRP. It wouldn't take a single XRP off the open market, even if billions and billions of dollars were put into futures ETFs. It's interesting that doesn't mean it doesn't change the price of XRP. It's possible for the price of the futures market on XRP to go up if a lot of people buy the funds that track that market. Because of this, there is an exchange chance for people to sell that and then buy spot XRP. And by doing that, they raise the current price of XRP, which is also the case with the futures price of XRP. For some reason, the futures market still affects the price of XRP, but it doesn't change how XRP is traded on the XRP system. I know that sounds confusing. Why are people so happy about a spot ETF? Because if millions and billions of dollars came into an XRP spot ETF, those millions and billions of dollars would be locked up and taken off the open market. This is what has a big effect on how the supply and demand for XRP work. And what we've seen over the last few years is that the price of XRP can really go through the roof with just a little supply and demand. Early last year, a few tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars coming into XRP caused its price to go up by 600%. If some medium-sized or even big banks started to list an XRP spot ETF, billions of dollars would flood into XRP very quickly. Just a few tens of millions of dollars put a 600% spike in the price of XRP. Think about what would happen if tens of billions of dollars came into the market. That's why spot XRP ETFs are so exciting. For a while, it looked like choices on these things wouldn't be made until late summer or early fall. But many people didn't pay attention to something very interesting. It looks like Grayscale was way ahead of everyone else when it came to putting their big cap fund index ETF on the public markets. This is not only an XRP spot ETF, but spot XRP will also be in it. This will be the first product of its kind that banks and other big financial institutions can buy to start buying XRP off the open market. This could go live as early as July 2nd. Many people may not have realized that this would make it necessary for the SEC and other officials to approve an XRP spot ETF. It's very exciting to see. If you can already invest in this Grayscale large cap fund and get spot XRP exposure, then it makes no sense to not allow a product that just gives you spot exposure to XRP. Now, based on past administrations, using that kind of sensible reasoning could get us into trouble because they tended to do things that made no sense at all. But now that we have a government that I think is a lot smarter and is making decisions that are a lot more in line with what's best for the business, I think this is the first step that will almost certainly lead to a spot XRP ETF very soon. What's maybe even more exciting are the billions of dollars that people like JP Morgan say will come into XRP because of this. Ladies and gentlemen, during the middle of the Ripple vs. SEC case, JP Morgan released an internal memo saying that if Ripple could win the case, then Ripple would be widely used because of its strong relationships in the banking sector. I don't take what you said lightly. For JP Morgan to say a few years ago, hey man, if Ripple can beat the SEC in court, their XRP token is probably going to get a lot of use because it is already so integrated in the banking sector. These people said that during the Ripple SEC case, and now that it's over, they think that billions of dollars will move into the XRP spot ETF. It just proves that this isn't something that some YouTubers and video creators are making up to guess the price of. Some people don't take the time to study and find these internal memos. And they mean to do that, right? They don't want anyone else to know about this. They don't want this to be sold in stores. The store doesn't know what's going on, but the truth is that they have said it straight out. They are known to have said these things, and our theory is the same as theirs. That's why I think it's very exciting. And I don't think many people really understand how important that XRP is becoming more popular, and that a lot of people are watching Ripple to see what they're doing in this space. I don't think many people have fully understood this yet. Because of all of this, the price of XRP is on a very nice rise right now. This was one of the things I paid close attention to. XRP was stuck in a falling trend that was getting worse. We were having trouble getting above ITWB, it kept getting hit and falling. This seems to be the first time ever that we've broken through this downward resistance. In the meantime, XRP has been making a nice long comeback, but now it is changing direction and going back up in the longer-term momentum of the price chart. As of right now, I don't think we're totally out of the running, but it looks like we're only one pump away from the $2.70 mark, after which all systems will likely go up in price. Yes, the question is still being asked by many, right? What is XRP doing? The news about Hidden Road was clearly made public. XRP did not move. A lot of other very positive news came out, including the end of the Ripple SDC case and other very important events. People are always asking, why isn't the price of XRP moving? One of the most important things I want to say in this video is this. What most people don't realize is that the people who are setting the prices of cryptocurrencies don't know very much about them. Retail buyers still make up a big part of this market, and most of the big institutional buyers are still buying XRP in dark pools. They are buying over the counter. They are doing it in a way that doesn't make the price of XRP go up. If I'm a big bank and I hear a big announcement, like the one about Hidden Road, I'm not going to go to Coinbase Prime or Coinbase or whatever and buy $100 million worth of XRP, because that would put me out of the market because the price of XRP would go up so quickly. I would go straight to Ripple and tell them, hey, get me some XRP. I don't want to change the price. That's exactly what's going on behind the scenes. Some people don't understand that the price of XRP usually changes on the price chart after news breaks. This is because of what retail is doing with the price and how retail is processing the news. And most people who shop can't even begin to understand what Hidden Row does as a business or what XRP does as a digital currency in the new financial system we're moving toward. A lot of people get one important thing wrong. Big banks don't really have an effect on the price of XRP right now because they can get it in other ways.